I am here to do a quick Vinxent update for everyone who's been following along his journey this past year. Vinxent has just recently turned 1 year old. My dad and I have just come back from traveling to the States for services for Vinxent. I'm just going to go into a little bit of the story as to the reason why we chose to do that, because it's not a light decision to travel during this whole COVID situation, but we felt that it was the best thing that we needed to do for Vinxent. At the last update, Vinxent had transitioned from his first original pair of glasses, which was his half script, to the second pair of glasses, which was his full script. Each time he switched his glasses, we could see him having more successful vision for binocular vision, convergence, and all of those kinds of things. And it was really helping with his depth perception issues, just gave him more social vision, overall developmental progression. The things that we had hoped for Vinxent when it came to his ophthalmic care was we wanted him to be evaluated every 3 months, which pre-COVID used to be standard. He had his glasses for 3 months, he was evaluated at 6 months, and we wanted him to be evaluated at 9 months just to ensure that his prescription hadn't changed, that the prescription that he was wearing was the proper prescription for him. Pre-COVID, when Quinn was being followed by the ophthalmologist, he was being evaluated every 3 months. At this younger age, the vision changes a lot as they grow. So things like if you have an astigmatism, which means like basically your eye is football shaped, as you grow, the shape of the eye grows, therefore the astigmatism prescription would change quickly. We wanted to be on top and make sure that he had the prescription that he required as his eyes change. So we called the ophthalmologist and we were requesting to be seen, just even to get his current prescription checked to make sure that the glasses were a good fit, that his PD was correct, and that the refraction was the proper refraction on his glasses. However, they told us that we wouldn't be seen by the ophthalmologist every 3 months as normal because of COVID. They were basically only taking in emergencies, and what would qualify as an emergency would be somebody who had all of a sudden like optic nerve damage, eye shimmering, strabismus, nystagmus, something that kind of, I guess, required an emergency surgery. And they told us that the next time he would be seen, we would get a letter in the mail, and then we would have an appointment with them for a month past when we got the letter. He was seen only once by this ophthalmologist when he was 6 months old, and now he's almost 14 months old, and we still haven't been able to get an appointment or an evaluation since getting him glasses. We were kind of at a loss of what to do because we were still noticing with even the higher prescription that he seemed to be having issues, especially when you were getting into the 12 to 18 inches range. He was starting to have those same behaviors. I could tell that his right eye was very dominant and that his left eye was kind of turning in a little bit, and that he was struggling to have vision and convergence, especially on those closer ranges. The other issue that we were having because of COVID was pre-COVID, the program that Vinxent's in through KCC, they do like PT, OT, and speech services. Used to be you would be seen at least once a week or every couple of weeks, and then they used to have like therapists come into your home a couple of times a week and they would work with your kid, and so you had these professionals that did like physiotherapy and basically helped your child to continue to progress through the milestones in those kinds of services. However, because of COVID, everything was kind of shut down in that regards as well. Our PT, our OT, and our speech was all crammed into a wonderful 1 hour appointment, and we were only being seen once every 6 weeks, which was pretty much completely useless. And so I was kind of thrown into this place of what can I do? How can I help my child? I was doing a lot of research onto like ophthalmology as well as trying to learn physiotherapy techniques. Frustrating that I was kind of in this position because of COVID, attempting to do something that pre-COVID I probably wouldn't have even had to deal with. I came across a YouTube video from a YouTube channel called Movement Lesson, and that's where I was kind of first originally introduced to Michelle Turner. I went onto their website and she had a bunch of training courses that specifically talked about the things that I was having issues with, like rolling over, and I could take these courses and I could work on him. It was really great. I learned so much about movement and movement in general, and he was responding very well to all of the techniques that I was working on with him. I first found her when it was pre-glasses. And I had my first Zoom with her before he had his glasses. And it was right after the first ophthalmologist had said that there was nothing wrong with his eyes. I had a Zoom with Michelle, and she was like, whoa, there's something really wrong with this kid's eyes. And she was the one that kind of guided me towards how to have a better ophthalmologist appointment. And it was very helpful because it helped me to get him glasses and see all the great progress that we had ended up seeing from him. The Movement Lesson Clinic is based out in Phoenix, Arizona. I had really thought about what we were going to do, how we were going to get him the ophthalmic evaluation that he needed, because I knew that there was something wrong with his glasses as well. I needed to train a little bit more so that I could provide him with some sort of help that would be similar to the help that I would have gotten pre-COVID through like physiotherapy. Luckily, we were able to be at the point of vaccination. We also knew that we had the ability to travel for medical reasons. We put together our papers, made the jump, and decided that it was best for Vinxent that we travel when he needed the help. I just wanted to make sure that he was able to see that he was progressing developmentally, and I knew that he needed help, and I knew that his glasses needed to be changed, and I didn't know where to go except to Michelle, so I went. I was thankful and super lucky to have my dad with me, volunteered to come and help me navigate through the borders and flights and driving and all those kinds of things. We made wonderful memories together, and I am forever thankful for having him with us. We made it to Phoenix, Arizona, where we were going to have a 2-week intensive session with Michelle and her team and Movement Lesson. The team had set up for us a full ophthalmic evaluation with one of the best, in my personal opinion, pediatric optometrists I've ever met, Dr. Cassidy. And it was absolutely, it's kind of depressing, to be honest, because it just really highlighted how not so great service that I have access to really is. So with the ophthalmologist that sees Vince, it was a very difficult appointment. They're very hard appointments. They're like 2-3 hours long, trying to assess his vision. They're sticking his, like we're trying to hold his chin into these machines and like keep him still so they can get images of his optic nerve and like do all their measurements and stuff like that. And he's like crying and screaming. It's stressful. We're shaking toys. We're doing all this kind of stuff. When I got to meet Dr. Cassidy, he kind of walked in. Our appointment probably took like not even 15 or 20 minutes for him to evaluate Vinxent. He was laughing and clapping, and it was amazing. He was able to evaluate Vinxent no problem without this long drawn out horrible process. And he was able to give me his prescription, which, as we already knew, his prescription that he was wearing was wrong. Not only in the one eye is it being corrected for astigmatism that's not there, the astigmatism correction in the other eye is a bit off, as well as his prescription needed to be 2 points higher in order for him to have the vision for the 12 to 18 inches. Dr. Cassidy basically did his eye evaluation, and he's like, your kid is doing this, this, and this because his vision is here or doing this or whatever. And I was like, oh my gosh, yes, he is. So basically, when it comes to the eye is tooth. It can either be like a neurological processing disorder for vision, or you can have structural issues, which is what Vinxent's problem is. The eye is a circle, and sometimes you have issues like an astigmatism where the eye is shaped more like a football, and sometimes the eyes can be a little bit large, and sometimes the eyes can be a little bit small. When an eye is a little bit large, what ends up happening is the image gets projected in front of the retina, kind of like a projector screen. And if the eyes are too small, the image is being projected behind, and that's what the glasses are for. The glasses allow the image to be projected on the right spot in the eye so that the image can be seen by the brain. Now that we are home, we ordered him the new glasses. Here, we're excited to see the progress that he'll make. Also kind of sad that it has taken us literally this long for him to have his first opportunity to see clearly.
I want to discuss a huge problem. It has been a very big trigger for me over this journey. People would tell me lots of kids got script issues and they develop just fine without glasses. I would even get people saying to me, Vanessa, blind kids roll over. And that's just great. That's that kid. This is Vinxent. It's a completely different circumstance. Just because one person didn't struggle with it doesn't mean the next person's not going to. It's just like if you have a preemie who does a NICU stay that comes out completely fine, well, the next one might have a whole host of problems. How we organize to our environment is a completely different process for each individual. Just because some kids do fine without glasses didn't mean Vinxent didn't need glasses. Kind of like the second ophthalmologist was suggesting. I had to fight so hard, not only for him to first be evaluated properly, but then for glasses, and then for his actual script on top of it. If I'm having a problem with this, I know I'm not the only one. I can't imagine where Vinxent would be today had I not fought for him. The worst part is it was proven time and time again he needed his glasses. Prior to getting glasses, he couldn't track an object. He had no social vision. First prescription, boom, social vision, started being able to track things. Second prescription, 3 days later, he started rolling over. We had been working on rolling over with that kid for 4 months. This last prescription, kid you not, 5 days later, starts crawling. Do you have any idea how hard and for how long I worked on him to try and get him into crawling? It was kind of then when I realized, truth was, he was never going to get into crawling. I mean, when you have balance and depth perception issues, yeah, you're going to struggle to go into crawling without his glasses. It's such an easy fix. I don't know why it is so hard or such a struggle to not only get your baby evaluated, but to just get them a proper pair of glasses that they need, especially when it is so crucial for their development. I'm gonna make a completely separate video to talk about our 2-week intensive down in Arizona and discuss a little bit more about what movement lesson is. But for now, with his new prescription, I feel like the sky is the limit. All that's left is to start the journey of attempting to find a local competent optometrist. So wish us luck.
Are you a tractor driving man? Yeah. Look at that big boy, huh?